Hey Void, how you doing? So, there was a point over the vacation where I just had a rough night, and then the next morning I felt just relieve the pressure. I need to watch something violent. And looking through, I was trying to figure out what do I want to watch, and picked out one I hadn't seen in some time, but I remembered being kind of the thing I wanted. A middle of the road slasher that was a little bit over the top in the gore department. So I decided to go with one that I barely remembered much about, See No Evil. Which came out circa 2006. And, yeah, it's been sitting on my shelf unrevisited for several years now. So gave it another look, and it was better in my memory. Okay. So, this one starts with pretty much a cop raiding a place where they believe an abducted girl is. Then they find her with her eyes torn out, and a giant man with a blade. He cuts off the arm of our lead's arm, and takes a bullet before running away. Bullet to the head. Well, fast forward, I don't know, 4 years later, I think. I can't. Doesn't matter. I don't think so. Years later, and the cop is now doing a different thing. He's got a prosthetic arm, and he's now doing a work rehabilitation kind of program. Him and another officer from the women's prison. They each brought a group of ne'er-do-wells to help clean up a hotel that has been abandoned and damaged by fire. So they're essentially working to reduce their sentence. And, of course, they start sneaking away to screw around. One of them's determined to break out, mostly because she had history with a guy that was there. Violent history, so they point that out to the cops, which say they'll take care of it. They do nothing. And then, one by one, they're picked off by the giant hook-wielding man, played by Kane. Okay. Things I like. The gore effects are good. I will say that. And the kills are fun to watch. And Kane himself does a very good job. He does a lot of acting with his face for this character. So, which is very well done. And he does a good job. He is bringing... his performance here as Jacob Goodnight is the main reason to watch this. I do like that they are kind of almost doing like a Norman Bates meets Carrie's mother here with a drilling religion into this abused kid who grew up to be this giant guy who's just struggling to cope, and it's called See No Evil because the eyes are the windows to the soul, so you can see the sin in their eyes, so he's determined to wash the sins out of people's eyes or pluck them out. So, yeah, okay. Sure. What doesn't work is almost everything else. The acting is not great, in general. I will say, I'll get to that thought in a second. So the way the movie's shot is kind of what I was having problems with. This was a theatrical release. It looks like a direct-to-video. It looks very amateurish. And it's just the way the camera's moving, and there's almost like a filter over things that make it look more yellow, beige, or green, gray. It looks ugly. The whole movie's like that, too. It doesn't look good. I think they may be trying to go with give it a gritty Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe, but it ain't working. It looks amateurish. And just something about the way the camera's moving and looking. I can't put my finger exactly on it, but it looks direct to video. Another thing is most of the characters are obnoxious. The cop and the lady cop, they're okay. our lead girl who's just, I think her name is Kira, is trying to survive. She's okay too, and one of her friends is okay. Everyone else, no. Particularly the asshole ex-boyfriend. Now, for minor spoiler territory here, if you care. One thing I do like is the cop with the prosthetic arm who has history with Jacob Goodnight. It makes it seem like he's going to be the big hero, and he gets killed off pretty quick. I like that, because it catches you off guard. What I didn't like is the asshole guy who's pretty much abusing one of the characters throughout the beginning and just acting like a complete dick survives. Not only that, they almost kind of make him out to be partially the hero. They don't really even give him a redemption arc other than trying to help a little bit. For the most part, he does come back for them at one point. But usually, he's not doing anything to redeem any of the shit he's pulled. And he is insufferable. And he's one of the few people that walks out at the end. I will say more people walked out at the end of this movie than I expected. But he should not have been one of them. They were laying him up to be a satisfying kill, and they didn't give it to us. That's a sticking point for me here. Normally I don't care whether those characters get it or not, but when they try to make him almost the hero, no. My partner actually walked by. She doesn't watch this kind of movies, but she saw him and she thought exactly that. Oh, he's the asshole that's going to get killed. They're like, yeah, he should be. But I couldn't remember the movie well enough to realize, oh no, he didn't. With how far along I was getting a bad feeling about it. Another thing. So, I keep referring to Kane's character as Jacob Goodnight. It says on the back of the box here, he's credited as that. They never say that in the actual movie. I was reading some trivia, and apparently the only monologue where they actually say his name was cut. They refer to it as being carelessly cut. So, yeah. So, our killer doesn't even get a name in this. Second, I did find out there's a sequel. I don't know if it's a prequel or like a side thing, but considering how thoroughly they kill the killer in this one, and they do it thoroughly, there should be no way this man's getting back up. Unless they go way supernatural, which the series so far is kind of grounded. I also do like the spike chain thing, I will say that. And apparently they were going to do a CG chain, but Kane actually got good enough wielding the chain that they just let him do it. So, points for that. I do appreciate seeing the big man swing the chain around. And like I said, he's given this movie more than it deserves. But I guess the music's fine if you like mid-2000s music. But this one's going to be a 4 MacGuffins for me. It's not terrible, but it does have flaws. Kane's performance, the gore effects are what you come for, and you'll get that. Those are worth it. The rest of the movie, 4 MacGuffins. Best I can do. Take it or leave it. Okay. See you guys soon.